Hey, welcome back, and yeah, welcome. So today I want to talk about the human tendency or the human habit of looking back or looking into the future, into our own futures. And I'm particularly talking about just looking back. Uh, I'm talking about something which I'm talking from my own personal experience because it's something I can say I'm guilty of doing. The habit of dwelling too much on the past or dwelling too much on the future. And so what I'm trying to mean is um we tend to, and I'm gonna say I have noticed something I've seen for myself. There are times where I tend to focus too much on any time that's not the present, especially if, let's say we're talking in the past, for example, like I'm looking in the past, especially when it's about things that went wrong. You know, I have noted, or at least I see it in people, the tendency to dwell too much on, let's say, a missed opportunity or a decision that led them to suffer a setback, and you're kind of asking yourself, or I'm asking myself, what if I didn't make that decision? And then you start dwelling too much on that setback, because it's not a failure, it's a setback. Or it could even be a positive, a successful thing you actually did in the past. And believe me, it's actually amazing to remember your successes, to know that you can actually do it. But sometimes I find myself unable to move forward because I kind of cling too much on that success and let that success define me instead of having the journey itself being what matters. And then on the flip side, there could be times whereby you're planning your future. And believe me, I am a big fan of you need to have, whether you're young or you need to have a plan, the kind of life you want to have, the kind of life you want to work towards to, in the, let's say, 5 years, 10 years time. And for me, I know the kind of, at least I try to create an image of the kind of person I want to be, the kind of business I want to have, the kind of relationships I want to have around me, and just generally the kind of person I want to become. But again, I'm avoiding the present. I don't know if you see where I'm trying to like take us. I'm I might be a point whereby I'm too focused on that future, which I'm saying again, I think everybody, regardless of age, should at least take some moments in their lives to at least try to make sense of. But you can't also now start dwelling too much on the future, because at the end of the day, I believe what matters is the present. It's the now. And it's something I've been thinking about lately because sometimes we as young people, at least I can speak on young people because it's something I've seen a lot around me, around my friends. It's the tendency to give ourselves so much pressure based on both ends, the way our past was and the future we're trying to have, whereby instead of looking at the whole journey as step by step, whereby I'm just focusing on what I can do today, what I said I'm going to do today, I have this state whereby either I'm looking back and I'm like doubting myself because of a previous failure I had, or I'm no longer moving. It could also be actually I'm doubting myself because I had a success which I felt was lucky, and I can't take another risk because I might fail, and I don't want to fail. Or it could be that I'm now letting a past success or a past failure be part of me. It's like we as young people sometimes tend to carry too much luggage on ourselves, and it's the luggage of our past, or the worst one is the luggage of the kind of person we want to become. Because one thing we young people share is we're never really sure of the future we're going to have, but we really want to have a certain type of future, if that makes sense. I think any young person you meet out there wants a better life for himself or herself. They want to have a good family. They definitely want to have. We want to have our finances in check. And sometimes, especially in our stage, we don't really know exactly what to do, and you're trying to make sense of everything every day. And the good thing is that it means we are lucky enough to have the chance to create our own story, step by step, day by day. But it also means we are kind of the most lost, because the journey in itself is amazing, but don't really know where you're going. Okay? And so you tend to focus not on the present, but on our past or our future, which is okay, like to think about, of course, temporarily, but to dwell on it makes us stagnate, you know, it induces fear. It's like we have three versions of ourselves, and the present is being paralyzed, is being tormented by a past self who no longer exists, and a future self who is yet to exist. And that's like we are punishing ourselves. And it's this topic specifically is it's something I see a lot happening in the people I know around me. And sometimes we forget that we're just all trying to make sense of everything. And I guess I sat down a few days ago, and I'm like, this is something I'd like to make a video about. I'd like to know what people think about this. I can say this is a topic that I can say I've personally been struggling with, because if I can use me for example, I think around 4 years ago, I think I had a conversation with currently my closest friend, of starting YouTube or TikTok. But we never did. It was never a really serious thing. I think we were around, still in our teens, maybe late teens. And so we didn't take it seriously. And I have to remember that at that age, we didn't have to take it seriously. There's no need to give ourselves too much pressure. And then this is a conversation we kept on having over the years. And now, around like 4 years later, I started my channel. We both started our channels actually on the January of 2026, 4 years after we had this conversation. And so I think initially there was a part of both of us which was like, imagine if we started 4 years ago. Imagine where we would be right now if we started 4 years ago. But then we had to be honest, we had to be like fair, we had to be fair to ourselves, because we still have the future ahead, you know. We haven't started the channel, but we can start it right now. We can go to YouTube and actually just start. We can take our phones right now in our rooms and just press record, instead of dwelling too much on the what is. And then there's also the future of the future. I mean, like now that I've started, what kind of goals did we have? Okay, is it that you just strictly want to have, let's say, a certain number of subscribers in the next 4 years? You know, are we going around looking at other channels and telling ourselves, he did it in 3 years and got, let's say, 100,000 subscribers. We also should have 100,000 subscribers in 3 years. But then you realize that also beats the point of us starting. We started our respective channels because it's something we found close to heart. I personally am doing something I can say for a fact is something I love to talk about. I'm somebody who generally likes having these discussions with the people around me. And I figured I might as well just use YouTube because not only can I speak to people next to me, I can speak to people around the world who have similar interests as me. And it's all about step by step. Right now, when I'm recording this video, I'm getting like literally two views, three views, and one of them is from my other account. So I'm literally like talking to myself. And so if I start thinking too much of the kind of the number of subscribers I want to have, I'll stop. I will feel I won't be I don't use that motivated, but I won't want to go on. And that's not something that beats the point of trying. And so I had to we had to tell ourselves that every single day that we agreed beforehand. Like if I'm gonna make a video on this day, we're gonna just when that day arrives, you go, you make your video, you edit, you post. The following day comes, if you're gonna make a video, you go, you edit, and so on and so forth. And it's supposed to be a step by step process whereby I'm taking one foot, then the next foot, then the next foot. Because we can't dwell on either sides. I can't dwell on the other sides where it be the past, the present doesn't make sense. And personally, I can tell you, I do not per se even have a goal for this channel, if I'm honest. Of course, it would be nice to see a couple subscribers, to see more so to see people who are like me or who are interested in such topics. But at the end of the day, it's about me. It's me telling myself, I said I'm gonna make every single day in a sense of as time progresses, I am just pushing on slowly and slowly. And I think it's the same concept for people in the gym or let's say health and wellness industry or something. In my personal experience, I think it's all about just being able to just be there day by day. You know, if you're going to exercise, of course, there's the diet, there's everything else, but I think it just boils down to today. You're supposed to go today. Will you, will you go? You know, it's not about the I can't wait to see the kind of body we'll have a year from now because it beats the point. Neither can I be like, why didn't I start going to the gym a year ago? Because that also won't help. I think as long as today I'm alive, I'm well, and nothing is stopping me, I have no reason to not go, you know? And I guess something I am trying my very best. I'm not perfect. I'm trying my very best to have such an mentality in every endeavor, and I'm trying my best to just take it step by step. I know I'm young, and I'm lucky that I'm in this process at my age. And if you are young, I think it would be amazing if you just be kind to yourself and just tell yourself it's day after day. It's only day after day. And so back to the whole concept of us as human beings, as people. It's really interesting how sometimes our strongest features sometimes could be our biggest weaknesses. Humanity has grown because we have the ability to look back at our mistakes and correct. And on top of that, the ability to look back at our previous successes and use it as a blueprint to further better ourselves. And on top of that, on the flip side, humanity, I believe we are people who always want a better future. Every single person. I don't think there's anybody who is, okay mentally, who doesn't want a better future for him or herself. But we still have to remember the basic principle that everything is just day by day, everything is just step by step, and that's the beauty of humanity too. So I think, if I were to summarize this whole thing, sometimes we might say life is hard because I do believe life is hard, but sometimes it's not because life is hard, it's because we have been carrying luggage, both past and future luggage, and trying to walk with it. Yet, we could literally just free ourselves and make the journey easier. And again, at the end of the day, it's all about the journey. There's no destination. I don't believe there's any destination to life. It's all about taking things step by step, and you're free to do detours. I think it's okay to take a break, but at the end of the day, it's still a journey, which is taken step by step. And the beauty is this journey. There's so much, more that's about to come that I don't know of yet, and it just makes me so excited. But it's still a step by step process. And I hope whoever sees this video, I hope I'd like to know your view. First of all, I'd like to know what is your view on this whole um, topic, where of us as people sometimes dwelling too much. Do you think it's true, or have you never experienced such a thing? I'd like to know how it works for older people, because I can't speak for people who are like 40s or 30s. Um, I hope it's still the same. I hope when I'm at 40, I can still just look at life step by step. And if you're older, or if you're viewing this video and at the time you're now older, um, can you say it's something you relate to? So, yeah, I think that's it for today. Um, I hope to see you guys on the next one.